So, okay, so we know cord cutting was a thing that's been around. You know, people mostly have streaming services. A lot of people have cut cable.
I was like,
That is not where my mind.
I didn't know what you meant by that.
I didn't either.
Cord cutting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of
You ever
that.
heard of the term cord
No,
cutting?
no.
I guess
means cutting cable.
yeah, I understand now,
I
but
just was thinking
Yeah.
cutting wires. So.
Well, that was like a thing in like 2015 where everyone, back then it was not a lot of streaming services. A lot of people were switching to Netflix or Hulu because it was significantly cheaper.
okay.
It's okay, because it was, now there's been an explosion in streamings, now there's all kinds of different options and everything. But broadcast TV is still a thing though. Cable TV is still around.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer do you think it will last, or do you think it will stay forever?
I don't know.
Like, do you think there will ever be cable TV will ever make a comeback, or?
Not a comeback. It won't grow. I don't think.
Yeah,
But
it's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
it won't.
There would have to be so many like stipulations that
Yeah.
in order for it to like
Yeah,
'cause your sporting events would have to be available, like
Yeah.
all of them,
I
and they're not.
I think it's on its way out. I think streaming is going to decline too because of
Consumption.
there's too much of it. There's
Well,
way too much, and
What
it's
would
just,
replace it?
honestly, I think people like being on their phones too much, or people just want to do other things. I just, because like when you look at like the box office of all these big budget movies that have come out lately, none of them are doing what was expected them to do. You know, well, I could say that like people just didn't have interest in those particular movies and stuff like that, but like it's kind of rare to have like a whole summer where you have all these big budget movies and nobody's going to go watch them. So it's like, are we just tired of TV in general?
Too
Are
much.
we just not interested in it anymore because it's just kind of we're all,
Everything's just thrown at you, so it's too much.
yeah.
That's my feeling.
Like
Mhm.
phones have taken over.
And yeah, I think inflation probably has a huge reason for that, or it's probably it probably affects it into where people are cutting costs. That's probably where they're going to cut it at.
Yeah, that's your entertainment. It's
Yeah.
usually the first thing to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
Too lazy to cook. We like going out too much
Yeah.
for food.
And if you own an iPhone, I mean, you can just people scroll for hours on free social media stuff that entertains them almost just as much as a movie or a TV show would. And then also, I just don't think there's enough TV shows anymore that are actually good. You know what I'm saying? Like big, like huge shows. Like back then, like when people would watch TV, there was always like, okay, yeah, you gotta watch, say, The Sopranos, or you gotta watch Breaking Bad, or Sons of Anarchy, or Walking Dead. Like those used to be like monster shows. Now it's like, now if you want to watch a monster show, you have to sign up for a whole streaming service,
Right.
and then that show either ends or they go on a hiatus, or it's like a few years before they release a new season, and then you're paying for
Nothing.
nothing.
I feel like people like to do stuff, and the phone fills that void too.
Yeah.
I was like, instead of just sitting and watching, people would rather, even if you sit and watch, you're usually on your phone.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dude, when I'm at the movie theater, it's easier to not be on my phone when I'm at the movies.
Yeah.
It is when you're on.
But I still sometimes I still find myself in the movie theater wanting to just look at my phone.
Are we addicted?
It's just, I don't even think about what I'm doing. I just
mainstream.
pick it up and I just start looking at it.
Addicted.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just don't think the entertainment need from that source, I don't think is there like it used to be. Now people have other ways. I mean, they have it right in their hand, you know, and they're so addicted to like notifications and seeing if they have likes or comments or posting things, and it's just, I think that's where we're kind of
I
at.
was like, even if it's not the notifications, it's just, like you said, just grabbing your phone.
It's instant
Do you guys not
gratification.
think a lot of people that were just like me? Like you guys keep bringing up this fact like everybody's just addicted to notifications and social media and all this stuff, and
Mhm.
instant
just thinking-
gratification. I'm like, that is not me at all.
That's not
me.
I don't
Yeah.
use social media for. I don't use
Mhm.
it
I
for
don't-
likes or
I don't
anything.
use it if it likes you.
But I also don't watch TV.
But-
I don't watch movies
but
either.
even if
I'm
it's-
just not interested.
I was gonna say, even if it's not, you're still like Twitter. Like you'll still go through that even if notifications are
Yeah,
off,
so-
just because
Like,
it's easier and it fills that like instead of watching.
It's an instant gratification.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
That's
like,
all it is.
that was like the news feed. That's
honest, to me, I think it's kind of along the lines with like kind of. Hear me out. It's kind of like smoking a little bit because you hear a lot of when cigarettes. It was a lot of that hand fixation. They got to do something with their hands all the time, and I think that's kind of like where we're at with phones. Is we got to have. We're constantly. I don't know. We don't even think about what we're doing. We're just doing it. Constantly putting it in our hands. And we're just doing something just to do it. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of.
Yeah.
Where it's, I don't know, but like, so when you're deciding how to cut costs and everything, you're probably thinking like, well, I don't really need that since I have this whole world, internet world in my hand. So I don't think cable TV. I'm surprised it's lasted this long because and they haven't even cut prices, so they haven't even adapted to what's going on. Like they haven't even like tried lowering prices or tried doing anything. Like they're still super.
Generation.
Well, what if there's still a ton of people? What if they
I
don't
wonder
need
what
to?
they're using.
Well,
What if there's people that just have all like the direct TVs, the dish TVs because they've had it for 20 years and they just don't cancel it?
yeah. Well, I think that's why. I think
I was gonna say that's
I think-
probably what's holding it up.
yeah. Honestly, I think that's what it is.
It's
I
a
think
generation.
I was gonna
once
say
those
that's-
people go out, then I think it's because
Because everyone our age, we're like, you can get ad-free stuff on Hulu, and you don't like cable. You can't do that at all, and it's cheaper than cable. Like, and you get to watch exactly what you want. Like, and that's every streaming service.
yeah.
And I was like, commercials, I know suck, and it's not the main reason people do it, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you just nonstop binge.
I would like to get rid of all of it.
Yeah. So one thing, I think the only thing that's kind of saving, and it's not even saving it anymore. It used to be where that was the only place you could get live sports was through a
Through
cable.
service.
That was the only way you could watch like a Cardinals game or a
Or
Blues
the
game.
rare occasion that it used to be on
Yeah.
the local channels like once a week or something like that. That
Yeah.
used to be a thing.
But now you have like Amazon; they're getting their own exclusive stuff. Then you have
Apple?
you have Apple, and then
Peacock?
YouTube TV picked up the NFL package. So
Peacock
Peacock and
has their own.
stuff. So I don't know.
That's a
Honestly,
lot.
that's why I think a lot of people are just going to be like, you know what? I've had it. I can't do this anymore. It's too much. Getting rid of all of it.
I wrote it down the other day of all of our different streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I've heard you complain about having all these streaming services for years now, and you've never gotten rid of them.
Because I would like to, but I have a husband or I have
Yeah.
children who are like, no, don't do that.
Well,
And you're never gonna get rid of them then.
I know. I personally would like to.
every
I
time.
never see you watch Netflix and stuff on there.
Because it's there.
Yeah.
But if you got rid of it, I would not. I don't think I would care.
Yeah. You know,
It's
every
so-
I think it's a
Dude,
lot, but-
every conversation about us getting rid of streaming is the same. We're like, we could get rid of this, but they're like, oh wait, we gotta finish Stranger
I
Things
do
first.
Well, I
the
could quit if I
seasonal.
wanted to.
I'm like, I don't have Peacock or YouTube TV now, but I will in a month for 6 months. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, and I think it is because people are just paying for it because that's what they're used to.
And
But I think once they catch wind, they're like, okay, we don't want this anymore. We're not even using it. Because it did drop. It went from like 47% in 2019, and it's at like 42% of households that have cable TV, and they said it's just been getting smaller and smaller. So eventually, it will vanish.
well, I mean, but like, you see the prices of all the streaming services. Like outside of YouTube TV, you could get Hulu, Peacock, Netflix for the price of Spectrum, and it's just like, why do that? Just, I mean, and it's probably cheaper, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if you did a bundle.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the phones now are just way too. There's too much entertainment just in our hands alone that we can get for free. I mean, YouTube is still free. You have to deal with ads and stuff. And there's also things like Tubi and stuff like that that's free.
That's so
Shabu.
bothering me, though.
Yeah.
They don't bother me, like, but it's still free. Like,
They bother me in mobile.
Everything.
They bother me in mobile games, but that's different. But
that's true.
That's because they get obnoxious sometimes.
Yeah, but anyways, I think it's fading out. I think a lot of it is kind of dwindling down, at least for now. I mean, it could get better once inflation and the economy kind of goes back to normal. But
Cables for
the phones are still going to be there. Social media is still going to be there. So
I just think streaming apps are just too easy.
Yeah.
It's just too easy, and you can have them, and there's no commitment. So, like Caleb said, 6 months out of the year, he gets rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally give you the pause. Like,
Yeah.
you can pause it for this
Yeah.
long, and it's just like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I don't have to pay
Yeah, I
for
think it's
this.
too convenient.
Yeah.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts, Josh?
I just think times change and people never realize that. Like, yeah, of course things are going to change and get different.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it's literally in the name. Cable. Everything's wireless now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be around.
It's not going to be around.
The
That's
cable
good.
is wireless, though. Like, you can get it, like,
I
the
was just
Spectrum.
making a joke.
Yeah.
Like, cable.
The
There's-
Spectrum,
yeah.
there's an app. There's
Yeah.
a whole app for it. You
There
don't
it
need
is.
anything.
I have it, but
Yeah.
All right.
I don't use it.
That'll probably be a thing of the past, probably in the next 10 years. I'm predicting it now.
Outside of